Hello everyone, and welcome. There is a lot more Go-related content in English available today than there were just a few years ago, which is very good. But unfortunately, there is not that much tournament coverage, at least not for tournaments in Asia, and I think that is unfortunate. So I was hoping to be able to cover the games of the 22nd Nongshim Cup. The Nongshim Cup is a great tournament which is held between the three main the main countries which has professional Go players, between Korea, China and Japan. The last quite a few years now, this has been a showdown between China and Korea, and Japan has been struggling to keep up with the development. We'll see how well they can do this year. As you can see, the countries that participate each sends 5 of their absolute strongest players to participate, and the tournament works so that 2 players play, and the winner gets to keep playing, and the loser is eliminated. And then whichever country did not play in the last round sends up someone to face the king of the hill, so to speak. And we can just have a quick look at the names which we will see in this tournament. We have Shin Yin-so, which is the strongest player right now, and Park Yang-won, world number 3. Shin Min-jun, also extremely strong Korean player. Kang Dong-hoon, extremely strong. Almost every top 10 player in the world is here. But we also see some new faces. For example, Kipyo managed to qualify for Korea. It's not a name that many people have heard before. So this tournament is going to be played in 3 stages. The first stage was played in October, and the second stage played in November, and the last stage is to be decided. Hopefully this will be played offline, but perhaps due to COVID it would have to be played online as well. But the games should be equally entertaining either way. So, without further ado, I'm gonna jump into the first game. The first game is played between Tingyu, the world number 6, I think, something like this, top 10 player from China, extremely strong, against Kipyo, who managed to qualify for Korea. And is at least the least known in Korea's team, and possibly the weakest. Not even a top 50 player, which is still insanely strong, but in this tournament everyone is extremely strong. So Hong from Korea takes black against Tingyu from white, from China, who takes white. So let's see the game. The game doesn't start out different from many other games. Players take their corners, and black decides to invade 3-3, which is very common nowadays. White blocks and takes center to press in the lower left corner, and comes back to finish the Yoseki on the top. Black chooses to Atari here. Of course, another possibility is to play D18 to go into this kind of a Yoseki. Something like this. But he did not like this. Decides to just capture and let white take the outside. Here, Hong decides to probe or peep at e14. This is a kind of move which has become a lot more common since AI. Black is essentially saying that you will have to respond at d14 at some point, and then this will be a good exchange for me. So if white just responds, black is happy. White will not just respond, but instead extends on the top and decides to try to play on both sides if black were to cut. Black jumps out, but tries to keep his stone light, but also always aiming at d14. White protects the left side. Black approaches the top, still aiming at the cut in some sense. White adds another stone, securing his top left side and protecting against the cut. And black jumps out. And white secures his points on the left side and puts some pressure on black stones, however they are quite light. Black takes center and approaches the lower right corner. We see both players ignoring each other. And white decides to attack black stones. However, black handles them quite lightly. He plays a forcing move. And plays some Ataris. And makes shape. White takes a very large move in the lower right corner, essentially killing p3. There is still some agi, however. And black still aims at d14, pointing out that white still hasn't connected. White attempts to connect his two stones to his wall, or what we should call it. Black gives white poor shape and takes some profit on the top side. And white comes back to connect. Black is still looking at the d14 cut, but surround first and cut later. So black is trying to gain some profit from attacking here. White plays a very, very large move at the right side of the board. Black seals white in, and white handles the cutting point at d14. See some moves. Black tries to reduce white's right side. We have a peep, and then black plays L3. So L3 is aiming at the agi of P3, which is quite scary now. White plays B13 and black responds. And then white comes back and plays the very large N2 move. So far not too much has happened in this game. Both players are solid. The game is equal. We're gonna see them fight for the center now. Black approaches. Perhaps is looking at the cut or some agi in the lower right corner. And white responds actively. So, now we're gonna see how well black can handle his group. Black plays some exchange and tries to come into white's territory, and also aims at playing Q4 and cutting. Perhaps not Q4 and cutting, but aiming at the aji in the lower right corner. White probes the upper right corner, and black responds. And white puts pressure on black's group. White could just go back and defend here. This is completely fine. The game would be very even still. White decides to attack black. And black says you really need to take care of your aji in the lower right corner. White says no, you have a peep to fix as well. And black responds and says, but now you really, really have to take care of your aji. And white agrees. So black tries to run away. So now we're gonna see what white has in mind after black responds at R16 to his 3-3 invasion. Black is gonna play S16 to remove MySpace. White plays a probe, attaches, plays P16, and then the, in my opinion, quite remarkable P18 to create a ko. White will try to use this ko to attack the black group on the right side. And depending on how successful this strategy is, it's going to have a very, very big impact on the game. Black responds. Black plays a ko threat. And black plays S18 to try to kill the white group. And white plays the ko threat M5, which does not look like that much of a ko threat, but white is saying that if you capture in the top right, I'm gonna attack you severely, might even kill you on the right side. Hong accepts the challenge and captures the ko. White tries to get a leaning move in to make himself stronger before the fight. AI says this is a mistake and that white should start attacking right away. However, black responds and whites get another chance to attack. So moves are played. Here, black is trying to escape and white is trying to cut. And we end up with this very interesting co-fight where black is separated with these stones and has to win the ko in order to save them. So white plays, well, captures the ko. Black has to play connection because capturing is too big. And then white plays N10 in order to threaten the black group. And now we have the game deciding fight, the ko fight for this group. And black needs to survive somehow. And white needs to kill black or get large compensation somehow. White plays a ko threat. So does black, a local ko threat. Also good for points if black lives. Co-threat from white. Co-threat from black. Co-threat from white. And co-threat from black. As they go on, fighting the co. Here white is not content to compromise. He wants to capture black's entire group. So, here, white threatens the top group from black, and black finishes the co, and white gets to capture these stones on the top. However, this is not a good enough result for white to be able to win the game. Black is ahead by more than 10 points on the board. And it's gonna be comfortable for black to win. So what could white have done differently? According to AI, this is the last chance that white had to make an even game, but it's extremely hard to judge these positions. So here, the AI wants to threaten to cut here and recapture and extend, and then play this co-threat and recapture, and then when black plays R10, the AI wants to play L8 to finish the co and capture the black stones in the center and make this exchange. And after all of this, this is supposedly a even 1 point game, which white can win. But this is almost impossible to judge. There are so many variations. But this was the last chance that white had to win the game. After this, there's no way for white to get a good enough compensation from this code to win. So they played out the game, because when playing for your country you don't want to resign. But it's hopeless from here. They are just going through the motions. And in the end, we ended up in this position where white resigns because black is just comfortably ahead and there are no complications. So, Kipyo clutches the first game for Korea, who is off to the lead. A very, very good result for him, beating Tingyu, which is a top 10 player. Thanks for watching, and see you for game 2.